Hello everyone, welcome to my home. Today we're going to be talking about 6 steps, that's 6 steps to stop being a control freak. So let's talk about control. Oh boy, where do we start with this? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that you're in control of other people and situations? I mean, it's quite a simple question, really. Because the world can actually seem like a scary place. It certainly seems like a scary place to me sometimes. And sometimes the only sense that we can make of it is to feel in control in our part of it. So the more we try to order things, the more we plan things and assure ourselves that we know everything that's going on with no surprises, no worries, the more we feel in control of our lives and the less scary it all seems. And this is how I used to feel. But can I let you into a secret? It's quite a big secret. Can I actually let you into the secret? So, I'm not too sure other people should hear this, but shh. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear this secret? Okay. This secret is you're not in control of other people. You're not in control of situations. Now I've got that off my chest. It doesn't matter if you're being passive about it. It doesn't matter whether you're being aggressive about it or even both. Just can't be in control of other people and things and situations, because other people have their own control mechanisms and situations are dependent on things that are way out of your control. But what happens when you do try to take control of everything and it doesn't end up the way that you want it to or expect? So yes, usually you get frustrated or disappointed or even unreasonable, even angry and possibly resentful and violent. Or it even gets to the point where you actually disown the people you say you love. You do all you can to manipulate everyone and everything to create the outcome that you want. Your controlling mechanism, the tools that you use, become more obsessive or compulsive, and you persuade yourself you're more right than before and you know better than everyone else and how better than how they should live their lives. So you become closed off to any other outcomes, to any other opportunities, to choices and ideas or wishes regarding what other people want, what they need, even to make their own mistakes or do things they want to do. But let's face it, that's what all this is about, isn't it? Isn't it about you and only you? Now, I can probably hear you say, no, it's not about me. I'm this way because I worry about my son, I worry about my daughter, I worry about my wife or my husband, my partner, I worry about my friends and colleagues, and I want what's best for them. I love them, and I don't want them to get hurt. You can convince yourself as much as you want, but what's your reaction when they don't do what you say? When they don't do what you want to do? Is it loving and understanding, or is it totally different? Now be honest. Be honest with me. Be honest with yourself. You want to control everything because it fits into your idea of what life should be. It validates your life, not other people's. As I said before, I remember being like this. Exactly like this, because my life and thoughts and behaviour were the exact opposite of actually being in control. Fundamentally, my life was chaotic. and out of control. And I fooled myself into thinking that by trying to control the people in my life and everything around me, that my life was well ordered and manageable. Wrong! My life was a mess! It looked good from the outside, but behind closed doors, I was just falling apart. I was domineering, I was overbearing, I was impatient. Oh, what other words can I use? I was ungenerous, I was moody, restrictive, unpleasant, negative, cynical. Oh, you name it. I was it. So, what did I have to do to pull myself out of this dishonest behaviour? Because it is dishonest to think that you can control everything, everyone, all situations. Controlling yourself and your life to the nth degree is not an honest way of living. So what did I have to do to drag myself out of this way of thinking? 1, I had to accept that I had no control over people. I had no control over things. I had no control over situations. It was obvious, but I had to accept it. I was holding back. I really didn't want to believe it. But in the end, who did I think I was? I was assuming all of this power that, no one else was giving me. God certainly wasn't giving me this power. And if I had all of this power, why was it being constantly frustrated? So I had to realise I had no control. 2, I had to learn that I did have control, but it was only for myself. I can control my thoughts, my responses to people and situations, and my behaviour, my actions, but nothing else. I had to take responsibility for me, who I am and what I do, not for anyone else, not for anything else. I had to keep now this is important, so if you want, write this down. I had to keep my side of the street clean and no one else's. In some ways I had to ignore what other people were doing on their side of the street, not concern myself, not spend all my time going over to their side of the street when my side of the street was becoming dirtier and muckier and dirtier and muckier. So, 3. Wow. Once I came to this understanding and started to act on it, which wasn't easy, remember, I had to accept that I had no control over people and things. And 2, the only things that I did have control over was my thoughts, my responses to things, and my actions. So once I came to this understanding and started to act on it, which wasn't easy, I have to admit, being a long-time control freak, I can't describe, this huge, massive sense of relief that lifted from my shoulders when I acted on those first 2 things. Can you imagine having all the worries and the cares of the world that you carry around with you, or you carried around with you, suddenly no longer being there? All that wasted energy, all those barriers, all the walls I constructed around myself and other people, all just lifted. That sense of lightness and well-being, as opposed to constantly feeling heavy and dragged down and put upon, which I was doing for myself. No one else was doing it to me. But that sense of lightness of being, I just didn't have to do it for anyone anymore. I didn't want to do it for anyone anymore. I recognised it was down to them, and really, metaphorically, my whole body, my whole mind, my whole spirit just went, oh wow. So after having that sense of relief, The fourth step was just letting go. Because once I started to appreciate that it was vital to let go, I became more responsive and understanding to what other people were doing, what they wanted, who they were. And I stopped trying to devalue them and turn them into people I wanted them to be. They stopped, in a way, becoming extensions of myself. It actually gave me more time to think about myself, and it freed me up to be more helpful instead of controlling, the complete opposite to what I was. I was becoming more loving instead of manipulative, nourishing instead of sapping other people's energy, supportive instead of confrontation. And that led me on to the fifth step, which was mistakes, realizing mistakes aren't wrong. You know, I moved away from the idea that everything had to be perfect. Nothing's perfect. Why did I expect everyone and everything to fit into my understanding of perfection when I wasn't perfect? I mean, that's a bit unfair, isn't it? And once I understood and felt that perfection can't be achieved, I stopped stressing about making mistakes. And I actually understood, or started to understand, that mistakes aren't wrong. Yes, you heard it from me, Simon, the person who never ever wanted to make mistakes. Mistakes aren't wrong. No, they're not. They're inevitable, and really, they're just alternative outcomes to what you want. There's nothing wrong with them. It's more like mistakes are teachers in finding solutions to achieve what you want. The more you try to avoid mistakes, and this is what I realized about myself, the more I tried to avoid making mistakes, the more I made them, because I kept on repeating them and not learning from them. And finally, this led to number 6. I don't know whether you've realized before from my previous videos, but I seem to have problems counting and showing numbers on my hands, fingers. So number 6. Number 6 is respect. Respect. Being benevolent and understanding and loving is just so much better than controlling, than being a control freak. Your loved ones, your family, your friends, your colleagues respect you more for the time that you put into helping them, to serving them, so to speak. Because you're being nurturing, you're non-critical, you're not judgmental, you're not a fiend who's criticising them all the time and putting them down. They want to be with you, whereas probably, if you think about it, if you are a control freak at the moment, or you were a control freak, and you really thought about this, sorry, because this is very important, you probably will find that people don't want to be with you, that they don't like being in your company. So being the complete reverse, they want to be with you. They want to be in your company. They look forward to seeing you. You're respected and you're trusted. And in the end, you know, being controlling is a lonely place to be. And I was extremely lonely. Wouldn't you rather be trusted and loved and surrounded by loving people? So I'll leave it there. I know I'm no longer a control freak. And I know that not only do I love my family, love my friends, love my wife, love my children, love my colleagues, I know that they also love me and that I'm loved. So I'll leave it there. If any of you can identify with what I've said, then please click on the button below. And this has been Simon from Mr. and Mrs. Know-How. And do remember that if you want to learn now, you need to know how. Bye bye for now.